Hi, I'm Christina and this is a book review of The Golden Couple by Greer Hendricks and Sarah Peckenham. So this is their fourth novel and it's my second novel by this author duo. I read their debut novel, The Wife Between Us, a number of years ago and I really enjoyed that book. I thought it was an excellent thriller. Now I have to say, I didn't really like this one much at all, and perhaps I did go into it with too high expectations, having liked that one so much. But yeah, this was a bit of a disappointment for me and just underwhelming overall. So let's talk a little bit about the plot. We hear from two different perspectives in this book, and the first perspective we hear from is Avery. Now, she is a consultant and she used to be a licensed therapist, but she lost her license because her methods are very unorthodox, and yeah, she lost her license basically. Now she has the plan that she can fix anybody's problems in 10 sessions. And if she doesn't think she can fix your problem in 10 sessions, she won't take you on as a client. And she's gained a little bit of notoriety for this. And lots of people kind of think, oh, that sounds a little bit interesting. She has a very high price tag. So obviously lots of people are quite interested in that. So the other perspective we hear from is a woman named Marissa, and she has an issue in her marriage that she wants to discuss with a therapist, and she has chosen Avery. So we hear alternating chapters between these two women, and the other main character in this story is Marissa's husband, but we don't hear from him as a perspective, we just hear from the two women. And I would just say that this was it was underwhelming. Part of it was ridiculous and over the top. There's a kind of side plot going on in this about Avery and a very large pharmaceutical company, and it all gets a little bit very high stakes conspiracy theory and all a little bit unlikely, and some of the things that happen I was a bit like, oh really, is this actually happening? And otherwise it was just a little bit dull. I did not connect to any of these characters at all. Honestly, none of the characters are particularly very likeable. You're not really rooting for anyone, and I understand in thrillers that is often the case, but even so, I didn't feel connected to them. None of them really felt like real people, to be honest. They just kind of felt like, you know, characters in a story. I can't imagine any of these people really being out there in the world. And we have a few other side characters. We have Marissa has an assistant. So Marissa has a little boutique that she owns, a very kind of high-end one with very fancy items, and her assistant is called Polly, and she has a bit of a role in this as well. And they, as a couple, Marissa and her husband, they have a child, and he's kind of in it a little bit. And then we also have Avery has a stepdaughter, and she's in it a little bit too. But generally speaking, it didn't really all come together in a really exciting way. In terms of the thriller aspects, there were some twists and turns in this, but nothing particularly exciting. And I would say the big kind of twist at the end, I was pretty disappointed by it. I was expecting quite a lot more, and I think by the time I'd got to that stage, I was pretty sure on what was actually happening, and I think I could see where it was going. So for me, it was a little bit predictable as well. And I just think overall there's so many better thrillers out there, including their debut novel. For me, I thought that one was really good. So this one, it's just a bit of a miss. I wouldn't recommend it. I would just recommend skipping this one. Definitely picking up The Wife Between Us, but definitely skipping this one. And yeah, I'm just going to give this one 2 stars. It is, I think for me, very forgettable. It hasn't been very long since I've read this, and even now I'm starting to forget some of the major plot lines and things in this. And I think it was just underwhelming. That is going to be my sum up for this book. It was a bit of a shame. I've read so many wonderful thrillers in my time, and this is just not one of them. It's definitely, no. I think if you ask me about this book in a couple of weeks, I will have very little recollection of it at all. So a bit of a shame, but I'm definitely interested in still reading some of their other books. Maybe this one was just a bit of a dud for me. I'm definitely still interested in reading An Anonymous Girl by them. I've had my eye on that one for a while, and they've also written one called You Are Not Alone. But for me, no, it definitely did not have the magic of their debut novel. and yeah, just a bit of a shame. So that was that one. So thank you so much for watching. I would love to know your thoughts on this book, if you've read it, whether you agree with me or whether you absolutely loved it. I'd love to know what you thought of it. So yeah, I'll see you in my next video. Bye.